This is your News Now.
Now at 5, dangerous storms hit central Indiana. We know at least one tornado touched down. In a press conference last night, police say there are many significant injuries, but there were no fatalities at this time. The storms have brought large hail to multiple communities, along with lightning we haven't seen yet this year. It's 5 o'clock. Welcome to CBS4 This Morning. I'm Melissa Crash. Meteorologist Krista McEnany joins us on this Friday. No severe threats as of now. That's over.
Yeah.
But wow.
Right.
Dramatic video here as well.
Very powerful storms, very destructive storms. Unfortunately, that's the kind of night we had last night. Yeah. Now we're shifting to cleanup efforts. Weather is going to cooperate for that. So things quieter now. You're in the clear for today.
As we were talking about, those dangerous storms swept across central Indiana, leaving devastation in its path. We have team coverage all morning long, and we start with CBS4's Kit Hanley, who is in Winchester this morning. Kit, what are you seeing this morning?
Good morning, Melissa. I'm actually right outside of Winchester, and as you guys just mentioned, State Road 32 is closed right now.
Now, Kit, I know it is obviously still dark out there this morning. As the sun rises, I'm sure a lot of people will be waking up to see the devastation and what has happened overnight. Have you seen anybody else out there? Has it been pretty busy, or is it more of just people are still starting to wake up this morning?
Yeah, you know, it's surprisingly pretty busy. People are being asked to take this detour, and it seems a lot of people don't really know what happened overnight. They were probably sleeping.
Well, I appreciate the update, Kit, and we're going to continue to push to get more answers for those folks there in Winchester. We'll continue to check in throughout the morning, Kit. Thank you. Initially, Indiana State Police confirmed 3 people had died as a result of these storms. Around 11:45, Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter then walked back those claims. We asked him about it during last night's press conference.
Oh, no, Jenny, no. And the 3 came from ISP. There was some information that had been shared with a lot of different people, and again, no one did anything nefarious here. But when you say you think versus what you know, they're very different. And sometimes what people think is what they think they know, and then they tell other people. So nothing nefarious whatsoever. The good news is, as at this point in time, we don't know.
The Indiana Task Force announced on X last night that they have been sent to Winchester to help with search efforts. They go on to say that their thoughts are with those affected by the severe weather. Meanwhile, in Randolph County is under a travel warning. Delaware County under an advisory. This means travel may be restricted to emergency management workers in these areas. During a warning, you are asked to refrain from all travel, comply with emergency measures, cooperate and obey, according to officials. Several schools are closed today. Randolph Central School says the musical tonight will be postponed there at the school. Randolph Southern Schools will be closed as well. Both say their thoughts and prayers are with those affected. Now, while all this was going on, Winchester native and IU basketball player Peyton Sparks was getting ready for the first game of the Big Ten tournament. This is what he had to say following last night's victory.
Just making sure everybody's all good. My family's all good. Went and called them, but it's definitely a scary thing, and just making sure everybody's all right is the main thing. So.
You obviously grew up there. You played there. What kind of love do you have for that community, and how much support have they given you over years?
They gave me a lot of support since I've been to Indiana. They just give me just the ultimate support and always have my back. So I love that town, and yeah, small town, but we definitely tight community. So.
Before hitting Winchester, that same storm hit the community of Selma in nearby Delaware County. EMA officials there say as many as 50% of the structures in Selma have been damaged. The fire department is urging everyone to avoid this area. Some residents say they didn't even hear the storm before it hit.
My husband and I didn't hear any of the wind or anything, but our house, which is right behind me, it's 100 years old, and it's built with plaster and lath. And so the walls are real heavy and thick. And we were both sitting in our recliners watching TV. And the next thing we heard, we didn't hear the wind or anything, but we heard glass shattering all over our house, where tree limbs were coming through our house and breaking glass, and, just everything flying around.
How scary. CBS4 Sierra Hignite joins us now live from Selma. Sierra, what are you seeing out there right now?
Hey, Melissa. So right when we pulled into Selma, this house was actually the first thing that we saw, and it's kind of where the damage starts here. I spoke to the woman that lives in this home. You can see it's a red house here, but there's a giant tree that is fallen into the front porch here. She told me that when this happened, she and some of her coworkers and her husband, they had gone down into the basement to take shelter. Amanda's here now. We're going to talk with her. Amanda, you told me that you actually were sitting outside for some of this. You've spoken to some of the other residents that live here. Walk me through. You said you were in this front bedroom when this giant tree fell. What did you see? What did you hear?
I was in the front bedroom and I was catching cats to put them in carriers to take them downstairs.
Thank you so much for talking with us this morning. Melissa, we're going to continue to stay out here and monitor the damage. We'll check back in soon. Reporting, Sierra Hignite, CBS4 News.
Sierra, thanks for that update. I'm glad they're okay as well. Governor Holcomb released a statement on X in response to the storms. He says, in part, Janet and I send our deepest condolences and prayers to the loved ones of those impacted by last night's storms. He goes on to say the people of Winchester are resilient and should know the state will walk alongside and support them as we pick up the pieces and rebuild. The severe weather outbreak actually started early yesterday afternoon in southern Indiana. A confirmed tornado caused damage in Jefferson County before going across the Ohio River into Kentucky. This is the damage in Hanover, not far from Hanover College. Take a look. You can see structures flattened by the tornado. No reports of any injuries here. You can continue to follow any developments on the storm outbreak on our website right now, CBS4Indy.com. Still ahead, Indiana University opens their first game at the Big Ten tournament in dramatic fashion. Plus, we're going out live to Winchester once again to survey the damage following last night's dangerous storms.
And things are quieter now. Those storms have moved on. We will see a few spotty showers in our southern counties as we head into the morning hours. Brighter sunshine as we get into the afternoon. And we'll take a look at that weekend forecast ahead.
It's 5:15 and we continue our team coverage this morning after storms ripped through central Indiana. A possible tornado touched down in Randolph County, and that's where we find CBS4's Cameron Riddle. Cameron, what are you seeing out there this morning?
Well, behind us is Indiana Task Force 1 that has just arrived here on the scene, and they are beginning to deploy here on the very far southwest end of Winchester, and to stay off the roads because it is dark, and as you can see behind me, there is debris that is in places that you wouldn't think it would be, Melissa.
Now, Cameron, before you go, I do have to ask, because you just mentioned the roads there. We checked in with Kit Hanley at the top of the hour, who was having issues getting into Winchester because of an NDOT truck blocking the road due to the power lines down and whatnot. Did you have trouble getting to where you were? What are you noticing out when you were driving this morning?
Well, we had to come all of the back roads. The light from our camera, and as you see, Indiana Task Force 1 is deploying out right now onto one of their trailers to go start surveying some of the damage. Melissa?
Cameron, thanks for that update. They'll definitely be cleaning up for several hours, maybe days, so we'll continue to check in with you. Meanwhile, powerful storms ripped through the Midwest, inducing several tornadoes. This is video from a funnel cloud spotted in Plymouth, Ohio. In Logan County, Ohio, there are reports of massive damage there. The EMA confirms a tornado touchdown. Officials say there is at least one casualty in that county. Now, this is damage in Mercer County. EMA officials confirm a mobile home community was hit by a storm. 3 people were hurt and taken to the hospital, Krista. So this storm had quite the impact, not only here in central Indiana, but several other communities.
Even yesterday morning, we were watching it just go through, several states before that first round.
Let's get to our weekend outlook. Happening tomorrow, the Shamrock Run and Walk celebrates its 31 years of festive fun. The event kicks off at 11 a.m. and this year the race will feature a new 4-mile course. The free post-race party for participants runs from 11 to 3 at the Bottle Works District. There will be music, a beer garden, plenty of food inside the Garage Food Hall. Out in Westfield, they're getting in on the St. Patrick's Day celebrations with the Shamrock Drop. It's a family-friendly event that runs from 12 to 2. You can enjoy things like St. Patrick's Day themed carnival games, face painting, and Irish-inspired music. New this year, all attendees get to put their name on a shamrock, drop it into a cauldron, then a leprechaun will draw winners to get prizes from local businesses. Sounds like fun. Still ahead, new ideas in technology, from a life-saving car safety feature to electric campers and even a connected grill. We'll take a look at these new safety solutions that could benefit your family.
Live from CBS4, this is your News Now.
Dangerous storms sweep across central Indiana, bringing down trees and power lines. We're live in one of the hardest hit areas, surveying the damage left behind. Plus, months after losing her son to gun violence, a mother describes her pain, the issues that she's speaking out against in an exclusive interview. All morning long, we're learning more about after a possible tornado tears through Randolph County. This is video from Blake Bogue that clearly there shows a funnel cloud. Indiana State Police say there were no fatalities, but there are many, quote, significant injuries. We're expected to learn more in a press conference that's happening later this morning. But some scary video there. It's always scary when these strong storms and tornadoes come at times when it's dark outside, not in the middle of the day, where you can't really see where it's coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes they're rain wrapped as well. But, you know, speaking of nocturnal storms, you know, we're in severe weather preparedness weeks.
Thanks, Krista. Those strong storms bringing down trees and power lines across central Indiana. One of those worst hit areas is in Randolph County. CBS4's Cameron Riddle continues our team coverage. She is live there in Winchester right now. Cameron, since we last checked in, for 5:30 in the morning, seems very busy there with crews starting the cleanup process.
Yeah, those crews were just pulling off as we were pulling in, and so they are all now gone. We're here alone here on the scene, so it's actually going to be far more quieter, but there was still a lot of damage that has to be surveyed, and even right now there's a little precipitation and some wind that is still coming. So reporting live from Cameron Riddle, CBS4. Melissa, back to you.
Cameron, before you go real quick, you mentioned how dark it is there. I mean, those county roads, those small town areas, you got to be careful because with that debris, there could be big pieces on the roads, and with it being dark, you know, that could be really dangerous this morning if people are heading out. Is there some travel advisories that people need to be aware of too?
The travel advisory is to stay off the road and do not go surveying damage because, as we experienced, there is no light on those back roads.
Advice there. Thanks so much. We'll check in again at 6 o'clock. Now, before hitting Winchester, that same storm hit the community of Selma in nearby Delaware County. EMA officials there say as many as 50% of the structures in Selma have been damaged. The fire department is urging everyone to avoid this area. Chief Randy Reed says this is something they never expected but acted quickly on.
Practically, when the tornado warning came out, we walked outside and instantly seen a funnel cloud. By the time we got into Selma, it was happening. We actually drove right through it. We got here within a couple minutes and started getting people out of their houses, started getting gas shut off, and it's just one of those things. You don't expect it to happen, and when it happened, you just had to act really quick.
And you can continue to follow any developments on this deadly storm outbreak on our website this morning, CBS4Indy.com. Turning to our other headlines now. It's been months since a 15-year-old boy was shot and killed outside of an Indianapolis high school, and now his mother is speaking out about what she saw that day. 15-year-old Devon Gilbert was killed in a parking lot in November near Kip Indy Legacy High School. The shooting happened after he was removed from the property for getting into a fight. Gilbert's mother told CBS4 she was walking her son away from the school when another teen came up behind them and started firing.
I turned back around, that Devin's on the ground on his side, and the boy is steady walking up, shooting my son on the ground. My son was shot every bit of 14 times.
The teen accused in the shooting was arrested minutes later. He's been charged with murder. Gilbert's mother says she still doesn't understand the motive behind her son's killing. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office still trying to keep a fatal hit-and-run suspect from leaving the state. Salvador Benales is charged with hitting 3 people on Mass Ave over the weekend. A judge ruled he can travel to his home state of Texas if he can pay his bond. That would mean paying at least $16,000. In a new filing, the prosecutor's office says it has found legal precedent for preventing a suspect from crossing state lines. The filing explains prosecutors did not have that precedent during the hearing. So far, the court has not responded to that filing. Brandon Breedlove died in that hit and run. 2 friends were injured. Breedlove is a veteran, and loved ones say he dedicated his life to helping others. Happening today, Indy is getting green ahead of St. Patrick's Day. Starting at 9:30, the tent party will take place on North Street between Meridian Street and Pennsylvania. So keep in mind those roads will be closed to traffic today. At 11:15, the Wee Irish Mile will take place along the parade route. About 15 minutes later, the St. Patrick's Day Parade begins with floats, local bands, pipe and drum bands, and much more. Now, all morning long, we've been covering the dangerous storms that hit central Indiana. Coming up, we'll go back out live to Winchester, one of the hardest hit areas.
And things are much quieter on radar now. All activity has moved on now. We still could see a few spotty showers in our southern counties later on this morning, but no more storm activity for us today. Just those efforts for cleanup, and the weather will cooperate. I'm tracking some much colder temperatures, though, as we head into the coming days. The timing on that ahead.
The Traffic Authority, powered by Tom Wood Automotive.
Our time now is 5:42. We want to get back to our weather now, because if you're just waking up this morning, maybe some folks have been asleep since those overnight storms came through. They were pretty powerful.
Yeah, we did. We had many storm reports. We had large hail, we had trees down, power poles down, and we've had reports of tornadoes in the state from yesterday.
All right, Krista, thank you. Our time now is 5:45, and our team coverage on those powerful storms continues now. Let's check back in with CBS 4's Kit Hanley, who joins us live in Winchester. That community, of course, will be picking up the pieces this morning once the sun rises. Kit, what have you seen now?
Good morning, Melissa. As I told you last hour, there is that road closure on State Road 32.
Yeah, Kit, this is definitely a story that will continue to be developing as the morning continues. We'll check in again here at 6 o'clock. Still ahead, today's Tech Smart. We're getting a first look at 3 new ideas in the tech world when we come back. From a life-saving car safety feature to electric campers, Rich DeMuro has a look at 3 new tech ideas in today's Tech Smart. You're just waking up this morning. Strong storms brought down trees and power lines across central Indiana. One of the worst hit areas is in Randolph County. CBS 4's Cameron Riddle continues our team coverage. He is live in Winchester right now. Cameron, the National Weather Service will be there this morning as well, correct?
Yeah, this is one of the places that they'll come, which is here on the southwest corner of Winchester. One of the biggest messages this morning is to not go out surveying the damage. Reporting live this morning from Winchester, I'm Cameron Riddle, CBS 4 News.
And you have to be very careful. Before we let you go here, we have just learned that the presser, we're hoping to learn a little more information from Indiana State Police during a press conference. It's at 9:30 this morning. As you mentioned, there's still many, unanswered questions about injuries, and as crews continue to go out, have you heard anything about any injuries or people that are impacted there?
So far, we haven't heard exact reports.
Cameron, thank you for that update. We'll continue to check in throughout the morning. There's still much more ahead at 6 o'clock. More team coverage of last night's storms as neighbors come together to begin rebuilding their communities.
And we have hundreds of storm reports over a dozen states. Things much quieter now, so we are looking at good weather as many communities will now be turning to cleanup today. I'm tracking some much colder temperatures ahead at 6.